আসসালামু আলাইকুম প্রিয় চিকিৎসকবৃন্দ, সবাইকে সুস্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি আজকের এই সুন্দর স্বর্ণালী এই রাত্রির শুরুটাতে আসলে ইন্ট্রোডাক্টরি পয়েন্টে সন্ধ্যা বলতে হয়। তাই আমি বলবো সুন্দর স্বর্ণালী সন্ধ্যায় একই বন্ধনে জড়ালে গো বন্ধু। এই স্লোগানকে সামনে নিয়ে অল অ্যাবাউট কোভিড-19 ভ্যাকসিনকে উপজীব্য করে জেনেসিস অনলাইন ইউনিভার্সিটি কর্তৃক আয়োজিত আজকের এই চমৎকার আয়োজনে আমাদেরকে অত্যন্ত মূল্যবান সময় উপহার দিয়েছেন আমাদের সবার প্রিয়, সবার আপনজন, অত্যন্ত বিজ্ঞ এবং আমাদের সকলের মেন্টর অধ্যাপক ডাক্তার খান আবুল কালাম আজাদ স্যার। স্যার ঢাকা মেডিকেল কলেজের ইতিমধ্যে প্রিন্সিপাল স্যার ছিলেন, মেডিসিন ডিপার্টমেন্টের বিভাগীয় প্রধান ছিলেন। স্যার বর্তমানে পপুলার মেডিকেল কলেজের হাসপাতালের প্রিন্সিপাল দায়িত্বে আছেন। আমাদেরকে অত্যন্ত মূল্যবান সময় দিয়ে উপস্থিত থাকার সদয় সম্মতি জ্ঞাপন করেছেন অধ্যাপক ডাক্তার সৈয়দ আতিকুল হক স্যার, অধ্যাপক ডাক্তার রবিদ আমিন স্যার। আমাদের মাঝে উপস্থিত আছেন অলরেডি সদা হাস্যোজ্জ্বল প্রিয় মানুষ অধ্যাপক ডাক্তার রাশিদা বেগম ম্যাডাম, আমি শ্রদ্ধা জানাচ্ছি ম্যাডামকে। আমাদের মাঝে আজকে উপস্থিত থাকবেন ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ খন্দকার মেহেদি আকরাম স্যার। আর আমাদের মাঝে আজকে টপিক প্রেজেন্ট করবেন আজকের এই ভ্যাকসিন নিয়ে আমাদের জেনেসিস বাংলাদেশের অত্যন্ত জনপ্রিয় একজন মেন্টর, সুহাসী এবং সুভাষী ডাক্তার মোহাম্মদ আশিকুর রহমান খান স্যার। ডাক্তার আশিকুর রহমান খান স্যার এফসিপিএস মেডিসিন কমপ্লিট করে নেফ্রোলজিতে এমডি কমপ্লিট করেছেন এবং বর্তমানে ঢাকা মেডিকেল কলেজ হাসপাতালে নেফ্রোলজিস্ট হিসেবে কাজ করছেন এবং এই কোভিড-19 রোগে আক্রান্ত রোগীদেরকে অনবরত এবং কন্টিনিউয়াস সাপোর্ট দিয়ে যাচ্ছেন। আমাদের মাঝে আজকে উনি এই কোভিড-19 ভ্যাকসিন নিয়ে প্রেজেন্টেশন করবেন। আমি শ্রদ্ধেয় আজকের আমাদের প্রিয় অতিথি, আমাদের সম্মানিত মেন্টর, আমাদের সকলের গার্জিয়ান অধ্যাপক ডাক্তার খান আবুল কালাম আজাদ স্যার কাছ থেকে পারমিশন নিব যে ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ আশিকুর রহমান খান স্যার তার পরিবেশনা প্রেজেন্ট করবেন। স্যার একটু যদি পারমিশন দিতেন প্লিজ স্যার।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ। অসাধারণ একটি অনুষ্ঠান এবং আমরা আশা করি যে আজকে এই অনুষ্ঠানে একজন অত্যন্ত উপযুক্ত স্পিকারকে বেছে নেওয়া হয়েছে এবং আমি মনে করি আমাদের দেরি না করে আমরা আশিকের বক্তব্য শুনি। থ্যাংক ইউ
স্যার। অত্যন্ত যুগোপযোগী একটা টপিক আয়োজনের মধ্য দিয়ে জেনেসিস অনলাইন ইউনিভার্সিটি আমাদেরকে চিরকৃতজ্ঞতা পাশে আবদ্ধ করেছে। আমি জেনেসিস অনলাইন ইউনিভার্সিটি এবং এর কলাকুশলীকে প্রথমেই সাধুবাদ জানাই এবং জেনেসিস অনলাইন ইউনিভার্সিটির উত্তরোত্তর সাফল্য কামনা করি। এরপরে আরো অনেক কথা হবে। আমি এই মুহূর্তে শ্রদ্ধেয় জেনেসিসের জনপ্রিয় মেন্টর শ্রদ্ধেয় ডাক্তার মোহাম্মদ আশিকুর রহমান খান স্যারকে অনুরোধ করব স্যারের মূল্যবান এই পরিবেশনাটুকু উপস্থাপন করার জন্য। ডাক্তার আশিকুর রহমান খান স্যার, প্লিজ আপনি আপনার প্রেজেন্টেশন শুরু করুন প্লিজ।
On the backdrop of COVID-19 pandemic situation, how can we return to normal life? How can we breathe freely? The answer is vaccination against COVID-19. So today we are going to discuss the different aspects of COVID-19 vaccine. Thank you, Dr. Kamal, for introducing me, respected panel of experts and learned audience. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all to our today's presentation. At the beginning of my presentation, let me take the opportunity to remember all these valiant doctors who sacrificed their lives while serving our people during this pandemic situation. Now, the world is going through an unprecedented situation where every day we are digging graves in advance for our people. How can we get rid of this situation? Yes, it's the preventive measures through which we can get rid of this great situation. Among the most preventive measures are like wearing mask, hand washing, making the physical distance. One of the most important preventive measures is vaccination. By March 11, 2020, COVID-19 was declared as pandemic situation. Rapidly changing behavior of COVID-19 virus required different strategies of prevention service, including the vaccination. And vaccination is one of the measures to help stop this pandemic situation. The benefit of vaccination greatly outweigh the risk, and this vaccination prevents severe illness and death. Now, the structure of COVID-19 virus. The COVID-19 virus has a large single standard positive RNA encased by a helical nucleocapsid. This is the single stranded RNA and encased by some nucleocapsid, and it is surrounded by a outer envelope which comprises of matrix protein, cell membrane protein, and special spike glycoprotein. Now, how does this vaccine work? I go through a brief discussion on the vaccine mechanism of action. There are various vaccine of type of vaccines, like the virus vaccines, which are the virus are selected, modified, and completely inactivated, so it cannot cause any disease. In case of protein-based vaccines, a protein is extracted from the virus and purified and injected as a vaccine. For coronavirus, this is the most commonly the spike protein. In case of viral vector vaccine, the gene from the pathogen protein is inserted into a different virus that can insert someone where it cannot cause disease. Same virus serves as a platform or a vector to deliver the protein that triggers the immune response. The same virus then inject as a vaccine. In case of nucleic acid vaccine, nucleic acid coding for the antigen is injected. It may be DNA or RNA. In case of COVID-19, the messenger RNA are injected. Now, what are the available vaccines and their types? Up to now, the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are messenger RNA vaccine. Already I have discussed their mechanism of action. And the AstraZeneca, Covishield, Johnson & Johnson, and Sputnik V are viral vector vaccines. Recently completed phase 3 trial, Novavax is a protein-based vaccine, and Sinovac and Sinopharm are inactivated or weakened virus vaccine. And all these vaccines cannot cause any disease in our body when they are injected as vaccines. Now I'll go through a brief discussion on individual vaccine. First of all, Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. This is a viral vector vaccine which comprises of 2 doses given in an interval of 8 to 12 weeks. And it is effective 63% against the symptomatic COVID patient. And recent data shows that this Oxford and AstraZeneca COVID vaccine is 60% effective against the Delta variant. Regarding the Moderna vaccine, it is a mRNA vaccine comprised of 2 doses given 4 weeks apart, and it is around 95% effective and authorized for 18 plus people. But recently, European Medical Agency authorized this Moderna vaccine for use in or more age group population. Johnson & Johnson is a non-replicating viral vector vaccine which comprises of only single dose, and it is around 72% effective in preventing moderate to severe critical COVID-19 infection. And Sinovac and Sinopharm, these are the inactivated vaccine comprised of 2 doses giving 2 to 4 weeks interval, and it can be stored in normal refrigerator temperature, that is at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Now, regarding the Sinopharm and Sinovac vaccine, as these vaccines are, we are going to give mass vaccination at our union level through this Sinovac and Sinopharm. Let us make a brief discussion on this vaccine effectiveness. Sinopharm and Sinovac vaccine, in a recent study, it showed that Sinopharm vaccine are 65-7% effective against the symptomatic COVID-19 patient, and it can prevent 85% hospitalization. And ICU admission, it can prevent 89% ICU admission. And in case of 80%, it can prevent the death. And all about this Sinopharm and Sinovac vaccine. Regarding the Sputnik V vaccine, it is an adenovirus viral vector vaccine comprised of 2 doses given 3 weeks interval, and it is around 92% effective after the 2nd dose of this vaccine. And this is the summarized form of all of the vaccines that are available now, and their type, their doses, and their storage form. Now, what about the safety of this COVID-19 vaccine? COVID-19 vaccines are being held to the same safety standard as all other vaccines. There is no in vaccine development and safety evaluation. And importantly, before authorization of this vaccine, FDA and ACIP review all the safety data from the clinical trials. And after authorization, FDA and CDC closely monitor this vaccine safety and side effects. So we should not be worried about the safety of this COVID-19 vaccine. Now, the most frequently asked question is, which one is the best COVID-19 vaccine? And the answer is, the best vaccine is the one you can get right now. That is the vaccine in your arm. So this is the best vaccine. And this is a pre-vaccination checklist which is given by the CDC. I will go through this checklist because all these are very important before vaccination. So what should we ask to our population before they get vaccination. We have to ask regarding whether they are feeling sick on the day of vaccination and whether they have received a dose of COVID-19 vaccine previously, whether they had any allergic reaction to a COVID-19 vaccine or their component like polyethylene glycol or polysorbate, and previous dose of vaccine. And we have to ask regarding any other allergic reaction to another vaccine or another component of this patient. And regarding this polyethylene glycol, this is a component of messenger RNA vaccine, and polysorbate is a component of our Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And this polyethylene glycol may found in some components like laxative, preparation for colonoscopy procedure, and polysorbate are found in some zinc-coated tablets and intravenous steroids. We have to ask the patient regarding any history of myocarditis or pericarditis. We have to ask the population regarding the allergic reaction, regarding the COVID-19 past COVID-19 infection, or whether they are treated with monoclonal antibody or convalescent plasma during this COVID-19 infection, whether there is any weakened immune system of the population like HIV infection or cancer, whether they are taking any immunosuppressive drugs, whether they have any bleeding disorder or taking blood thinner medication, whether they are pregnant or breastfeeding mother. So we have to ask all these questions before giving vaccine to our population. So people who are not eligible to getting the COVID-19 vaccine, there are 3 conditions. First one, if the population are there is previous severe or immediate allergic reaction, that is anaphylaxis, that require medical intervention to a COVID-19 vaccine, a vaccine component, polyethylene glycol or polysorbate. These sort of patients should not get COVID-19 vaccine. Those younger than 12 years of age, and this varies country to country. In our country, it is now 18 years, and it varies in different countries in different form. And people currently isolating or experiencing symptoms of COVID-19 infection, these 3 group of population should not get COVID-19 vaccine. What about the observation time? Now, after vaccination, we have to observe 50 minutes in case of all persons. But we have to observe at least 30 minutes in those persons who have history of immediate association to any severity to vaccine or injectable therapy, or there is any contraindication to different type of vaccine. For like if the person is getting mRNA vaccine, and if they have sensitivity or any other contraindication to Johnson & Johnson vaccine, or if the patient has any anaphylaxis due to any other cause, this patient should, or this population should observe for at least 30 minutes. Now, what about the co-administration of other vaccine with this COVID-19 vaccine? COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccine may be administered without regards of time. That is, this includes the simultaneous administration of COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccine, and they can be administered at the same time. Other vaccine can be administered anytime before or after COVID-19 vaccination. What if our population is feeling sick on the day of COVID-19 vaccine? This is, acute illness do not reduce the vaccine efficacy or there is any chance of increased adverse reaction. But for a precaution, we should have to delay the vaccination in moderate to severe illness unless the illness is improved. In case of mild illness, we have to give the vaccine to the patient. And we should not withdraw the vaccination if the person is taking any antibiotics. So in case of only mild to moderate to severe illness, we have to hold the vaccination process after the illness is improved. Now, another important concern is myocarditis and pericarditis. If the patient has any history of previous myocarditis or pericarditis, then if it is not associated with any vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine, we have to make the patient, get the patient vaccinated after improving or get cured from myocarditis and pericarditis. Only this is a rare complication of mRNA COVID-19 vaccine in age group 12 to 29. And this is a very, very rare situation for this vaccine. Now, another important question to our patient or population, have you ever get a dose of COVID-19 vaccine? What will dose? It is important to note that COVID-19 vaccines are not interchangeable. If a vaccine product for the first dose cannot be determined or is no longer available, any available mRNA vaccine may be administered, but it should be separated by at least 28 days. If doses of different mRNA vaccine are inadvertently administered, no additional dose of either product are recommended. Now, if there is any allergic reaction to the component, polyethylene glycol, if the patient has any allergic reaction to polyethylene glycol or polysorbate, the patient should not get that vaccine. And person with an immediate allergic reaction to previous COVID-19 vaccine dose or allergy to a component of vaccine have to contraindication to vaccination. But esophageal reaction and post-vaccination side effects, that is local or systemic, are not contraindication to receiving the second dose. And these are the potential side effects that are observed in COVID after following the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 3 types of side effects may occur. That is, one of them is immediate allergic reaction, including the anaphylaxis, esophageal reaction, and vaccine side effects. In case of immediate allergic reaction or anaphylaxis, it mostly occur 15 to 30 minutes after the vaccination, and there is immediate allergic reaction, feeling patient may feeling including dome, or there may be skin manifestation. There may be features of anaphylaxis, including pruritus, urticaria, flushing, peritema, confusion, disorientation, dizziness, and patient may become unconscious, according with other features of anaphylaxis like hypertension and other features. In case of esophageal reaction, it mostly occurs within 15 minutes of vaccination, and there may be patient feeling pallor, diaphoresis, clammy skin, and sensation of facial burn. And patient may feel some dizziness, lightheadedness, or symptomal attack. And in case of vaccine side effect, there may be local or systemic. In case of local side effect, there may be pain, erythema, or swelling at injectable site. And there may be some systemic feature like fever, chills, fatigue, headache, or other some GI symptoms. Now, what should you do in case of these side effects? If vaccination with mRNA COVID vaccine in the first dose, whether we should give the second dose if the patient got anaphylaxis? No, we should not give the second dose if the patient got anaphylaxis reaction with the vaccine. And in case of esophageal reaction and vaccine side effects, that is local or systemic, the patient should get the second dose of vaccination as scheduled. Now, what should he or she do after vaccination after having the COVID-19 infection? This is another important question. It is said that vaccination should be offered to person regardless of history of prior symptomatic or asymptomatic COVID infection. And there is no recommended minimum interval between the infection and vaccination. And we should defer the vaccination until the person has recovered from acute illness and discontinue isolation. This recommendation applies regardless whether the COVID infection occurred before initial dose or in between the 2 doses. So the minimum, there is no minimum recommended interval between the infection and the vaccination. Now, what if the patient got COVID infection and treated with monoclonal antibody and convalescent plasma? In this patient, in these people, we should hold the vaccination up to 90 days because to avoid the interference of the antibody treatment with the vaccine-induced immune response. Now, if the patient has a weakened immune system, like patient got HIV, uncontrolled diabetes mellitus, or any cancer condition, or if patient is taking immunosuppressive drugs, in this group of patient, COVID-19 vaccine may be administered. But we have to counsel the patient regarding the unknown vaccine safety profile and effectiveness in immunocompromised population. And this is a study which also showed that in cancer patient, the COVID-19 vaccine showed poor efficacy. So we have to counsel the patient before vaccination regarding this poor effectiveness. Now, one of the important common condition in our country, that is tuberculosis. And what should we do in a TB patient with COVID-19 vaccine? Tuberculosis patient should also get a vaccine as early as possible. The vaccine are safe and effective even if he or she is on TB treatment. Because people ill with both tuberculosis and COVID-19 may have poorer treatment outcome, especially if TB treatment is interrupted. So we have to vaccinate this tuberculosis patient whether he or she is on treatment or not. What about the liver disease? All the patients with liver disease, that is viral or non-viral, including the fatty liver, should undergo immunization with any authorized COVID-19 vaccine. Patients with advanced chronic liver disease, liver cancer, and those patients with liver transplant should get priority for vaccination of COVID-19 vaccine. And if the patient has got any bleeding disorder or any blood thinner, what should we do? A COVID-19 vaccine product may be given to this patient with bleeding disorder. But if there is significant bleeding risk, we should give the vaccine intramuscularly with reasonable safety with a fine gauge needle of 23 gauge or a small caliber. And we have to put a firm pressure on the site without rubbing for at least 2 minutes. And people with regularly taking aspirin and anticoagulant do not need to stop this medication before or after COVID-19 vaccination. Now, another most important aspect of COVID-19 vaccine, that is COVID-19 vaccine during pregnancy and breastfeeding. Pregnant women are more likely to get severe ill with COVID-19 compared with non-pregnant women, especially by this new Delta variant. Based on how this vaccine works in our body, they are unlikely to cause any risk for women who are pregnant. But currently, there are limited data on the safety profile of this vaccine in pregnant women. But FDA authorized that COVID-19 vaccine cannot cause infection either in mother or in fetus. So, FDA authorized that pregnant women are eligible for and can receive any currently authorized COVID-19 vaccine. But if the patient has got any confusion regarding this patient, we have to counsel the patient, and the patient, pregnant lady, can have a conversation with the healthcare provider. So, in making a decision, pregnant people and their healthcare provider should consider the following things: that are risk of exposure of COVID-19 infection to the pregnant lady, risk of severe illness, unknown benefit of vaccination, and the limited or growing evidence about the safety of this vaccine. So, if there is any confusion regarding the vaccination, we have to count all these conditions before get vaccination. We have to counsel the pregnant lady for vaccination with these points. And pregnant people have not reported different side effects from non-pregnant people. And this is the only published journal regarding the vaccination in pregnant women. This is a preliminary findings of mRNA COVID-19 vaccine safety in pregnant women, published in this is done in USA. Here they are shown that around 40% patient result in pregnancy loss after COVID-19 vaccine, and 86% patient results in live birth, and only 9.4% patient there is preterm birth, and there was no neonatal death. But preliminary findings did not show any obvious safety signal, and they showed that this was not compared with any other longitudinal, other study, other control, and their advice for longitudinal study. What about breastfeeding mother? Based on how this vaccine works, COVID-19 vaccine are thought not to be risk of to the lactating mother and their breastfeeding babies. Therefore, lactating mother can receive any COVID-19 vaccine. Recent reports shown that breastfeeding mother who have received COVID-19 mRNA vaccine have antibody in their breast milk, which can protect their babies. But more data are needed to determine what protection this antibody may provide to the baby. And now the breaking news. Today, our National Advisory Committee on Vaccination approved this pregnant and lactating mother, approved that pregnant and lactating mother can receive COVID-19 vaccine. Now, people who would like to have a baby, there is currently no evidence that COVID-19 vaccine causes female or male fertility problem. So, if they are trying to get pregnant, the parents can receive COVID-19 vaccine, and no need to avoid pregnancy after receiving COVID-19 vaccine. Another important aspect is vaccines for children. CDC recommended everyone 12 years or older should get a COVID-19 vaccine to help them protect against COVID-19 infection. Children of 12 years or older are able to get Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine in USA. Potential benefits of COVID-19 vaccine outweigh the known and potential risks, including the possible risks of myocarditis and pericarditis in this age group patient, which is very rare. The Pfizer, landmark Pfizer has an clinical trials begun late July 2020, recruiting around 3,000 participants aged 12 years or over. And there is another study, ongoing study of Pfizer, and the age group of the patient is 6 months to 11 years, and the reports are not yet published. And European Medical Agency recommended extending the use of COVID-19 vaccine, Moderna, including children aged 12 years from 17 to 17 years from 23rd July of this year. So, what should we do in case of delay in the second dose? There is another frequently asked question. The Center for CDC allows a 4-day grace period when assessing on-time receipt. That is, a Pfizer vaccine can be given 17 to 25 days after the first dose, and Moderna vaccine can be given 24 to 32 days after the first dose. However, if you second dose is given later than this, no need to restart the vaccine. Only get the second dose. And this is another publication from University of Oxford. They have said that a longer delay up to 45 weeks between the first and second dose of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine leads to enhanced immune response. So we can assure our people we are getting the second dose from today of AstraZeneca after a gap of 3 months with this study. This gap may produce some enhanced immune response according to University of Oxford. Now, what should be the quarantine period after vaccination? If a vaccinated person comes to contact with a COVID positive or suspected patient, he or she not require any quarantine period if he or she is fully vaccinated and he or she do not have any symptoms of COVID-19 infection. So, in this, if these two condition is fulfilled, he or she don't need any quarantine period after vaccination. Now, what is the effect of variation of COVID-19 vaccine? When a virus is widely circulating in the population and causing many infections, it is likely that the virus's mutation is increasing. Stopping the spread at the source remains the key. All the people should get vaccine and it will lead to fewer mutation. COVID-19 vaccine provide at least some protection against the new virus variant because this vaccine elicited broad immune response. Therefore, changes or mutation in virus should not make the vaccine completely ineffective. It will be possible to change the composition of the vaccine to protect against these variants. And vaccines may be needed to incorporate more than one strain for development, and booster dose may be required. We must not put off getting vaccination because of our concern about the new variants. Now, another important aspect of vaccine is booster dose of vaccine. Data posted online suggests that a third dose of Pfizer vaccine can strongly boost protection against the Delta variant. Meanwhile, another preprint study suggests a third dose of AstraZeneca vaccine give more than even 6 months after the second dose can boost the immune response. The United Kingdom, Japan, and Israel are among the first few countries to announce giving the booster shot in the COVID-19 vaccine to the citizen. And this is published today. These 3 countries, United Kingdom, Japan, and Israel, are going to give the patient the booster dose from the next month. But experts says it is too early to know if the people will need a vaccine dose or not, and it is unclear yet how much immunity might wane over time. So CDC and FDA says vaccine booster should not yet needed. And this is a study which is published very recently. That showed that the study was done with Pfizer and AstraZeneca vaccine. It showed that only modest difference in vaccine effectiveness were noted with the Delta variant as compared with the Alpha variant after receiving the 2-dose vaccine. So this study gives us some hope against this Delta variant with the 2 dose of vaccine schedules. Now, another important one, mixing of COVID-19 vaccine. As the highly transmissible Delta variant spreads around the world, several governments are mixing vaccines. Mixing vaccines means administering one brand of vaccine for a first shot and followed by vaccine of different manufacturer for the second dose. Several ongoing studies are investigating the effect of mixing coronavirus shot. Now, regarding the mixing of COVID-19 vaccines, trials in Spain and United Kingdom suggest that mixing vaccine lead to a strong immune response. In Germany, a third study also revealed that immune response of mixing dose better than 2 doses of AstraZeneca shots. The University of Oxford and COV trial mixed schedule involving Pfizer and AstraZeneca generated strong immune response against the virus. AstraZeneca followed by Pfizer induced higher antibody than the Pfizer followed by AstraZeneca. Several countries, including the Bahrain, Bhutan, Canada, Italy, South Korea, Thailand, and United Arab Emirates have begun mixing the vaccine as the policy. Experts say there are lack of sufficient clinical data to fully determine whether mixing is effective. Meanwhile, WHO warned individuals against these mixing vaccines, and CDC firmly stated that COVID-19 vaccines are not interchangeable. Both doses should be administered using the same product. Safety and efficacy of mixed dose vaccine series is not yet established. Another important is vaccine diplomacy. Bangladesh signed a deal with India on December for the very beginning for Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, but India side stopped this vaccine export due to their increasing their number of cases. And after that, bilateral negotiation with China and Russia with a view to locally manufacturing the Sinopharm and Sputnik vaccine is going on, and we received a number of vaccine as a gift from China, India, Japan, USA, and UK. And we are getting vaccine through COVAX in our country very recently. So we can say that this is a very successful of our vaccine diplomacy. Now, what is vaccine passport? Vaccine passport would be mandatory in future to travel any country. Already Bangladesh is asking for vaccine passport for person intending to come in Bangladesh. And it is also practicing in USA, UK, China, Australia, and European Union countries. The vaccine status in Bangladesh, mass vaccination started in our country from 7th February, and vaccination in union level will start from 7th August, and people of 20 years of age and above is now eligible for register of this COVID-19 vaccine. And the last available data at the end of this month, around 2.6% population of our country is fully vaccinated. And in the world context, around 14.4% population is fully vaccinated in the worldwide. I have already mentioned is 2.6% in our country. Now, what information we should give to our population? Sir, no safety steps have been skipped in making the COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine cannot change your DNA. COVID-19 vaccine do not contain microchips. COVID-19 vaccine do not have preservatives like pork products. Pregnant women can be vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccine do not cause infertility. Get vaccinated if you already have COVID-19 infection. You cannot get COVID-19 from vaccine. Side effects after vaccination are normal. The benefit of vaccination outweighs the very rare risk of certain reactions. And most importantly, the best vaccine is in your arm. And we all have to remember, after vaccination, we must cover our face and mouth, nose with a mask. And we should aware of these preventive measures so we are vaccinated. And regarding this COVID-19 vaccines, we are
সম্ভবত প্রেজেন্টেশন শেষ। আমি অত্যন্ত ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি, অনেক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি।
Kamal, we are getting at the end. We are still learning how effective vaccines are against this variant of COVID-19, and how well the COVID-19 vaccine keep people from spreading the disease, and how long COVID-19 vaccine can protect the people in the long run. So at the end, we can say that you have to protect yourself, your family, your friends, your co-workers, and your community. And we should all get vaccinated. At the end, we can say that although the days of this feel long, together as a country, we can stand strong. Thank you everybody for your patience sharing. Assalamu alaikum.
থ্যাংক ইউ ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ আশিকুর রহমান স্যার আপনার সুন্দর প্রেজেন্টেশনের জন্য।